Welcome back, everyone, to Game Changers Champions, where we've got our final match of the day. You couldn't quite get rid of me quite yet there, folks. We have Holtolava going up against Guild X, and it's a fight for their tournament lives. Of course, I'm Golden Boy, happy to soak in the glory of this final matchup alongside two amazing human beings. Of course, we have Kukuka and Sapphire. For me and Heather, this is a special moment. First time sharing the desk with you, and it is an absolute pleasure. You freaking legend.
Right,
so.
yeah, this has been years in the making. Usually I'm, you see me behind the camera sometimes in the production room when we walk by, but it's nice to
we've known each other for way too long.
Yeah,
so to be able to do this, for me, is a personal achievement. Welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you here. And Kukuka, always a pleasure to have you here as well.
I mean, always, we've done it like a couple of times, but yeah, it feels like a lifetime.
Now it feels like we've been at it, especially after yesterday. So
oh, yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a look, though, at how these two teams performed in their last, or rather in their first matchups, because really, it has been quite the journey for both of these two teams.
Yeah, exactly. If we take a look at what was yesterday for these two teams, we're talking about going the distance. We're talking about the 3 maps, especially for the side of Guild. If you look at those first two, they were so close to, maybe having a different result, maybe even being able to close this 2-0. But for Guild, they just love the lower bracket run.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, one of the differences here is that, Guild almost had that in the grass, and they let it slip away. Whereas Channal, first map was a little like, okay, this is concerning, and they brought it back, and they made it really interesting on the third map.
Yeah, this is another thing that I wanted to talk about here, because Channal, Holtolava, and Guild X are actually coming into the tournament the slowest teams in attack. That means that it takes the longest for them to plant the spike or to get the first kill. Now, funny enough, and it's only with one sample, of course, because we only have yesterday, these two teams have sped up a lot, or more like the other teams have become way slower. Krug was on the last, almost doubling their time. Some things that have been amazing, but to me, it's the most important is that Guild is putting another gear up. They want to be extra aggressive if possible.
Yeah, and they're going to have to be, right? You know, I think that is kind of the pace we're starting to see begin to pick up in this tournament, especially as teams like, Liquid or even X10, which we saw straight, fire out of them in some of those rounds there. But let's actually take a look, though, at the Channal Holtolava roster, because, I would say, given all the expectations, Sapphire, which, by the way, not a lot, because we honestly didn't know much about this team coming into it, they have definitely overachieved, and I'm happy for them.
Oh, of course. They played against Team Liquid, who's one of the best teams in the world, and they impressed us. And we saw some really young, exciting superstars in players like Suzu and players like Festival. There were some great moments. There are some great clips that have thousands of likes right now.
Yeah.
I think that it's just the fact that it's endearing, it's a loving story, is the kind of underdog story that we love in VCT. Doesn't matter what kind of tournament we're talking about. We know very little about them, as you said, because in time we can only look at 2 big results. But hey, they earned their spot here. And as you said, a big surprise, especially on that second map, that icebox, I was literally, my eyes were like this, being like, is this real?
Yeah,
what Festival is doing?
Glued to our seats. I'm actually really glad you mentioned Festival. And both of you mentioned Festival. It's a party for everyone. How could you not? Because 2 of the players we're going to be putting a spotlight here, Kukuka, Festival and Smurfette, both high-impact players for their teams.
Yeah, completely. But they're so different in so many ways. When we take a look at Smurfette and what she was doing yesterday, it's all about the first duel. It's all about that initiation. It's all about taking the upper hand and making the first decision in the round. Festival is going to be, more focused on playing with the rest of the game. If we actually make a comparison between these two teams, I would say Guild is that first instance, that first moment, and Channal would be the mid-round completely. That is when the decision is the most important for them.
Exactly, and that speaks to your slow gameplay. We saw that from Channal, taking their time and then allowing Festival to explode, and we saw some really nice 2K, 3Ks. I think one of the downfalls there was on Breeze, is that she was overheating a bit. She went for a little too much. I think she talked about that on social after, that she got a little nervous, and hopefully now she can calm those nerves and not go for too much anymore.
Yeah, I totally agree. But now let's shift those focuses over toward Guild X. This is a team that it came into this, the EMEA #1 seed. They had defeated G2 Goes, and they had finally, got that, the nag off their back, right? They finally felt like they had this, and it just hasn't quite gotten the way that they would have liked it here, Kukuka.
It is so surprising for me that we're talking about the seed 1 of one of the 2 regions that actually are able to bring 2 teams into the tournament, and they could leave today without a single win in the international stage. So that is mind-blowing to me. But we're talking about a team that when they got into the stage yesterday, they were so nervous. The first round of every single map, they were shaking. As I said, the mid round was not really there. Sometimes the overheating was too much. Having a 5v3 situation and still going on the hunt, going for kills. To me, also, I wanted to say, and I speak to Join about this, I think that he missed the fact that maybe after 2 rounds or 3 rounds of seeing it like that, he should have ask for a timeout and say, hey, let's calm down, okay? Not every timeout has to be tactical. Sometimes you need to acknowledge that you're working with humans, that things could be very stressful for them, and sometimes you need a breather, even in these situations.
And this is where we need the veterans like Claudia, who've had their backs against the wall in tons of events, playing in front of tens of thousands of fans. This is where she has to step up, calm down her young teammates. Don't worry. Don't think about losing. You don't want that pressure there.
Yeah, you really have to lean on the veterans in those instances. But now let's actually dive in to our map vetoes and see where we're going to be playing here in this best of 3. And with the way that these matches have been going, honestly, Heather, it could very well just go to 3 as well. Like, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah, I mean, they actually have a very
I don't want to leave today. Can we actually just start the show with tomorrow's match?
Sure, all in production are very happy about that.
There are a lot of similarities on the maps that we like, so I expect maybe some Icebox to come out here, some Haven. Both of those teams are very comfortable on those maps.
I mean, I kind of expected that Gil was going to ban that Breeze. I love this. The fact that Fennel spotted the weakness there on Gil. This is a map that has been, you know, not only a lot of 50-50, but very, very shaky from their side. We also saw a little bit of a new composition. And after losing the way that they did, even though it was too close, Fennel spotted a weakness. So we love that. Guild is repeating on that pick, on that Haven. Watch out. Good result for them. Kind of expected for now. Maybe I would have liked a Fennel to pick Icebox.
Yeah, and then, you know, going to be interesting to see what the last map is here.
Okay,
interesting.
Yeah, it makes sense that Gil will get rid of that.
Yeah, it does. It does. And, you know, interesting enough, like, Bind's not a map that either of them are particularly great on either. I know that in the EMEA finals, I think that's the one map where G2 kind of smashed Guild at a point. And Fennel doesn't have a lot of experience at either. So I think they're going to want to, both teams are going to want a quick 2-0 here.
Yeah.
In my mind, this makes a bit of sense. The only thing that I would have changed if I was the one making the decisions, which, I mean, there's a reason why I'm not, I would have maybe gone for the Icebox, you know, maybe for a little bit of that tease.
Hey, but you know what? Potentially, if they make it past this challenge here, you know, that could very well be an opportunity for them. But also, it's clear a lot of the teams recognize the Icebox from Fennel is quite strong. But anyway, folks, we're going to take a quick break, though. When we return, we're going to have GuildX and Fennel Hotel Lava take the stage. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to Game Changers Berlin. Hey, let's go ahead and do it as well. And I'm thrilled to announce today's final competitors. It's Japan's Fennel Hotel Lava going up against EMEA's GuildX. Well, there you have it. It's not going to get more wholesome than that, people. Might as well just pack it all up.
Listen, the fact that they know that this is an elimination match, the fact that they know that everything is on the line for both of them says so much. The fact that they say hello to each other in such a respectful and loving way definitely sums up what Game Changers means to them.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the important part to note here as well. Yes, this is competition. Yes, you want to be at the top of the mountain and you know, be the queens of the mountain, if you will. But the reality of the situation is here, this is a massive moment for all these teams. And look, I'm just going to be blunt. All these players have been a joy to talk to get to know. It's a shame that we have to send one of them home here today.
What I love is, like, the players are fans of each other, too. Like,
yeah.
we saw Roxy popping off on Twitter cheering on the Fennel players yesterday. So, you know, they appreciate with each other. They respect what they do. But, of course, only one wants to come out ahead.
Yeah, you know, it is a tournament at the end of the day, right? And you want to hoist that championship over your head. Make history as our first Game Changers World Champion here in Berlin. And for one of these teams, the journey is going to end here today, and for the other one, it's going to continue onward. This has been a highly competitive tournament, and I have enjoyed every single minute of it. But now the question is, do you keep the fedora on? Son of a, you know, I feel like the fedora meta is just where we need to go.
Let's go over. Come on.
He just had to put it like this way.
Yeah.
I just need a fedora. I think we have one in the green room that I could just grab.
I think we should use it. Yeah. If they make it out of this, then tomorrow we say hello to them with the fedora on. But you're completely right. The journey from here only goes uphill. Remember, you're staying on that lower bracket. You need to win every single matchup, and every single one of them will be an elimination one. So, of course, everything is on the line for these girls. And let's talk a little bit more about the maps, especially the first one that we're going to have. We're talking about Pearl. Is the same map that Guild started on yesterday, and probably, as we said, where Fennel spotted that weakness. Everything was about the retakes on that map. The amount of space that both the teams were given, the fight for the control over the different instances was so shaky at so many moments. I want to see if we're getting the same Guild that is super nervous to go on stage, or if everything has calmed down after getting that first loss.
Yeah, we saw a lot of interesting moments from them on the attack side, but the defense side just started to disappear. And again,
and watch out for Pistol.
Yeah, yeah. As they saw that lead slipping away, they got even more and more nervous, and the retakes just weren't there.
All right, Prime Gaming Agent select now. Any changes potentially here? I don't really think we're going to see it. I think everyone's going to stick to their guns, as they should at this high-stakes matchup, Kukuka.
Oh, yeah, completely. I was definitely looking on the Fennel side, but I do not see any surprises from the last time that they played this map. They're sticking to what they know, and I see a lot of potential combos here with Astra, with Breach, with the Raze. Pretty, you know, normal in that sense, but some things that you can expect on this map, and definitely something that they had played against before.
All right, well, this is it for the last match of the day. Let's send it over to the evil ending.
I don't know if that's the combination I would have gone for.
Yeah, I don't know, but hey, it was new, it was fun, it was exciting.
It was whimsical.
It was whimsical. Kind of like this match, kind of like those walkouts. I mean, I thought it was all, you know, love in the air, and then all of a sudden, Anya, ready to throw punches. It all turns around.
Yeah, it is really cool to see. I think Fennel, if they've been one thing thus far this tournament, they have just been so fun to watch. This isn't an elimination match. This is a high-stakes match, but they're just of the mentality that, like, hey, this is awesome. We're in Berlin. We're playing Valorant, and they're just here to do their absolute best. But for Guild, that pressure is on them, too, and they've got to try and keep that joy throughout this game.
Oh, yeah, the #1 seed from EMEA now playing for their tournament lives. We'll see what they can get done here. Starting off on Pearl, I've got to say, I'm a big fan of this composition. It's very off-meta, I think, not having a chamber in the mix of things, electing for the Killjoy instead. But we've seen Roxy playing that the other day. A lot of mid control, already seeing her posted outside of mid, and now creeping forward towards Suzu.
And it's starting early. Suzu finds one onto Ness and is able to TP away from that one. A slow contact push from Smurfette all the way down, and does not commit forward off of her relay bolt.
Well, right now we still have Roxy waiting to activate that mid lurk. There's a tripwire she has to get past, so maybe waiting for her teammates to kill Suzu. Trip is broken, and Suzu is just smashing Guild right here. Absolutely insane. The suck over in B-Link too. Kurumi plays off it perfectly. It all starts to fall apart. A Prime Gaming flawless to kick off this map.
What a pistol round for Fennel Esports here. I mean, Guild, on that initial setup there, it felt like they just weren't completely ready with that utility to clear. Normally when you're doing an execute towards outside the map, you'll have that Fade Cat coming through and clearing out that chamber position, but the chamber player, Suzu, was able to get away with one, escape too.
Oh yeah, and look, it's all fun and games playing the Killjoy comp really strong in its own right, but there's a reason why so many teams lock in the chamber. It is B long control, and Suzu was on it right there. The 3K, and actually, because of that, she has full armor and rifle heading into this next round, which is just crazy for a round 2.
Yeah, you're not going to see that one every day. And Fennel will be playing just kind of this contact setup towards B-Link, that solo chamber anchoring down B-Long, kind of just the standard stuff for your defense on Pearl here.
Yeah, slow contact. We'll see what they can do. Actually, Kohal, the one with just a ghost here, so maybe not the ideal first contact as the rest of Fennel can sort of scooch on past, or Guild rather, can get on towards this A site. Maybe a fast retake here for Fennel if they want to, but the real power hitters in the Raze and the Chamber not quite in position just yet. The overpush comes straight on in to Kurumi, and she is there to get a couple before Claudia trades her out.
1-for-1, that's a gun recovered, and space towards the spawn side. Guild has a comp that is strong in these post plants, so this is getting quite dangerous. Suzu for one, but trades are there. It's only her left, and Claudia's found 3.
Claudia's just farming down there in secret, out of nowhere, it seems like, and they actually steal away a Vandal heading into this next round. Absolute madness, the trading, and just sort of the hand-holding from the teammates of Guild there, making sure they were always in a position to trade one another, and Fennel just seems like they got caught off guard before the full retake came in. Again, Festival and Suzu were so far away that in the time it was taking them to rotate over, Guild was just pushing towards their spawn.
Yeah, and for Fennel now, that is putting them in a very tough situation. They put a very heavy investment into that second round and now have to try and make some sort of adaptation. It'll be this fight through mid here initially. Yeah,
we've seen this play from them the other day, where it's the quick suck in A main that allows Smurfette to play off of it very quickly. Fennel actually 4 players in mid. Very quick to take all of that space. Potential for them to run into Roxy if they work in through window, but the plant is going to come in completely uncontested, and I think that's going to make Roxy very sus of what's going on here. You still haven't heard anything on site. It's just Roxy here running into a multitude of players, swinging into it, maybe a little bit ambitious, and a rifle now into the hands of Fennel.
But that's information now. Guild's reaction should be a push either into Art or towards the spawn side, and you see their idea is to take space outside of Secret.
Positioning from Kaoru over in Art could potentially set up the team with a couple of flashes as they work out of A main, but the deep hold Guild have had, actually just fighting into it, electing to take those very long-range fights, sets them up very nicely, and Claudia with a back-to-back 3K gets it done.
3 left alive for Guild. Relatively clean round there on their anti-eco. For Fennel, I think it is interesting to see this variation with the Fade Raze. A lot of teams opting for that Neon instead, like Guild, where generally that Neon is going to be kind of your contact rotate player who almost immediately is swinging off of the first bit of noise. But with this Raze, it is a little bit tougher to do that, and more so, you'll see teams sometimes going for the kind of opening gambits with her instead, taking space in mid with that Seize Nade, for example.
Yeah, it's like the opening gambits, or instead of sort of blitzing out onto a site, using your paint shells if you're able to rotate over quick enough to stop the plant and get the rest of your team involved.
Yeah, and it's kind of counterintuitive. You generally think you'd see those faster plays with the Neon, not on the defense, but here on the attack. Maybe it's a little bit speedier for Smurfette, trying to get Suzu off this line. She's heavily pressured and will eventually TP out.
This is funky from Guild. Exact same setup, except they've got 2 players over towards B long, right? With lurkers here, with Roxy and Ness, although they are noted out by Kurumi, who's just going to fall back now and just wait for the rest of her team to get there. Festival is very close in B-Link, and they are reading this rotation over.
Yeah, besides the power that this Killjoy gives you in post plants, you also have those mollies to clear corners, and you saw they used that instead of the Fade Cat to clear pillars. So Guild feels very safe in scaling towards long, but there are players just on the other side. 2 from Fennel, who might not be able to contest with that Killjoy lockdown coming in.
Yeah, they're just going to fall back, play 5-player retake on this one. Looks like Suzu may end up going for a flank. She was just posted up in A main. Instead, just going to call it back, TP back towards the team, but that means this plant is going to be uncontested, right? No one's actually fighting out. The rotations from Fennel are just waiting until the full commit is there. And Smurfette going to play forward here in towards B-Link. The flash is good, and the kills come through.
Roxy for 2 on that one. Only 3 left for Fennel to try and make this retake happen, and that Fade ult will give good information. Land alone towards Heaven, the other was below in spawn, and Suzu still only has this chamber operator to work with. Nice. And for Guild, their post-plant utility is excellent. They're holding close on the side. They have a player in long, and they might just shut this one down on the way out. No chance for Fennel to get back in.
None whatsoever. Roxy, look, everyone on Guild is just showing up for the 3Ks. Claudia had a couple, and now it's Roxy's turn. Roxy, who, I mean, for as long as I can remember, has just been fantastic on this team, but even in the loss the other day, very, very solid performer for the team. Can always rely on her. Even though she's, you know, playing the Sentinel role, you think maybe not so much going on there. Always finding, whether it's the lurks or the late rounds, very, very impactful for this team.
Let's go.
And Guild is feeling it immediately. This team never wanted to be down in the lower bracket. EMEA's best. Another life on the line. They went from upsetting teams like G2 of looking fantastic regionally to now playing from a pretty tough position here early in this lower bracket. Already some giant teams to face here.
Oh my
Final the first step. And this setup is crazy, but Smurfette has funny neon ability, so can just completely escape it, no problem.
Just running through all the utility there. I'm actually glad we saw like the top-down MOBA view of that one to see all the abilities going down. As Karumi with the push-up with Suzu is able to pick off Ness, and that creates so much pressure now for Guild. They've been able to make it into Art, and unbeknownst to them, there's actually no one on the A site. You also have this insane walk-up from Smurfette. Got 0 HP, 10 HP, technically, but with a chance to just backstab Gaharu in deep connector. If she decides to go underneath, she may just give up on that and instead fully clear the back site, which would be unfortunate because all of a sudden this insane flank doesn't actually give you that value of a kill.
But what it does give you is spawn control. They can plant for this space and hold on to it. That will be the decision for Guild. A good choice with this player disadvantage in their post plant.
Okay, so what's it going to be? There's still an alarm bot. I believe Roxy should be in range of that one, and yeah, Suzu is going to call off the late A main flank. The entire team now geared up to push in towards Art. That's going to be really hard to break out of.
Claudia actually wanting to take a fight early here. Fine Stu for it. Festival back on the trade. Only 1 rifle available now for Fennel, but they'll scale quickly into the site, and Seized is the player in the back lines, but support is there from Anya, so no worries for Roxy.
Man, it might have been all friendship on the walkouts, but with the aggression, the swings from Claudia in a round like that, they are not here to mess around.
I think Anya was the only one showing her true self in those walkouts.
Everyone else just put on the mask, you know? And now it comes off, all of a sudden, it's slipping, and they've got guns. You better watch out.
But for Guild, yeah, they are feeling it. Fennel, not the only team with the good vibes in their favor here. They will be taking a tactical timeout, get a word in with Euler, who I'm wondering if put the fedora on over the hat. I hope he did.
I really hope the fedora did come into play. If anything, take the timeout to figure out, because he's had a couple of days, right, to try and get the fedora on, and maybe you just need an extra 60 seconds to make it happen.
Maybe he needs like a comically large fedora that fits over the headset.
Or a comically small headset, you know?
That's an option.
One or the other. It's got to be some kind of, maybe even combination of the two.
Yeah, well, no fedora on joint, but some insight coming out of him on their opponent's pause here. The team has talked a lot about the value that he has added since joining this roster. It feels like Guild has kind of had a procession of all-star coaches, obviously had Emil in the mix before, who's now off coaching Team Liquid.
Yeah, and I mean, the progression of them was very apparent when they went out to win EMEA Game Changers. Now with that lower bracket run on the horizon, we'll see what they've got. Anya has the ultimate coming into play right here, so maybe something for Fennel to keep in mind. Usually does look a little bit better working towards Art or towards the A side of the map. And current positioning does have them set up to concuss over towards Art. Smurfette is near window, so she could very quickly either work into Art or potentially flash through double doors to catch Kurumi off guard.
It does seem to be that fast Art play, but Festival ready for it. Swings ahead of Smurfette's slide and gets an opener for Fennel.
Yeah, playing in front of the concussor right there, definitely necessary. Now, there's still 2 players in mid, so Ness going to walk in, pop the smoke and the suck to guarantee they could break a potential tripwire if it were there. Unbeknownst to them, it was actually over to the B side of the map, but Guild, even in a 4v5, do feel a little bit locked into going for an A hit. The concuss is good onto Festival. Oh no, Anya able to catch her straight off guard, and now all the options to burst into the safe site.
Yeah, Claudia just contacting out. There's 2 players trying to fight from Art. It's successful, but they don't expect Claudia. Only one. Roxy needs to trade. She does not have the chance. Now a 1 versus 2. Both positions noted. A backstab forthcoming. Spotted on the haunt and sprayed through the wall. Kurumi shuts down, and Fennel have their second.
Well played. I mean, it looked like the site was just going to open up straight right there, but Kurumi's positioning, fantastic. Playing next to Kaharu in Art right there. Just shuts it down completely. Actually forces the A main players, instead of actually taking the side or maybe even pushing towards Secret, to sort of double back, pinch into Art. Maybe had a chance, but not able to secure that second kill. Really good stuff.
That's how they close things out. Quick shot onto Roxy there, and now Fennel something to build off of on this defensive side. You really do want to be tallying up these rounds here, but despite what you might think with the Killjoy in the mix, I would say Guild's comp does lean more heavily towards the attack.
Yeah, it is interesting, right? I think Killjoy gives you so much control over mid. A very different setup for Guild, even in this A pinch, a much slower approach. Smurfette sort of holding hands, not handing holds, with her teammate as they work over towards Art. Still very slow, not instantly executing off of this as both ultimates come on through. Everyone's concussed. Finally, Smurfette pushes through and is not done just yet. That's
and
2.
Another stun as well. Excellent out of Smurfette. Site is that of Guilds, and Fennel don't have a lot of space from which to stage this retake. They've lost Art control. The spike is planted open, but Suzu might look to change it. 2 kills for her, only 1 left standing in the link, and she needs to take this fight as well alone for the moment. In the backlines, 2 coming through, but she's not ready for Anya. Now a 2 versus 3, and that timer is taking a smoke in their face. And Fennel yet to find a way out of it. Ness has a crossfire with her player in Art. Another star is available as well. I mean, the odds are just building against Fennel here, and it's just not going to happen.
Very good post-plant setup right there. The crossfire as it comes through, and even if Suzu is able to find 2 kills, Guild have the exact right idea of pushing in to reclaim Art control. It does feel like when you work towards the A site as an attacker, a lot of times, like, if you as a team just fall back after you get the plant to play A main, it falls apart. You need either Secret control or you need Art control, and the idea from Guild has been push into Secret after the round. Even if we lose our Secret players, we need that position. So the fact that it wasn't just 2 players, it was a 3rd there as well. Suzu's like, come on, like, how many of you do I have to deal with before I actually get to the bomb site?
Yeah, just too many to contend with there. Guild will again head fast towards the A site. This time, nobody's home. Knock, knock, empty site.
Just wide open. This is not the first time Fennel have done this either. You know, on the scuffed buys, they are very much leaning towards one side of the map. And what's funny is that Guild just don't know, you know? They're now rotating back, but with the positioning Fennel have, they hear everything. There's no secrets whatsoever anymore, although the fact that Ness is so late coming on through, we're actually going to hear that too. Suzu is aware, and that flank is going to get shut down.
It can be a double flank as well. That's unless Ness contends with Suzu. Big kill from the Astra. Is she ready for the second on this cross? Noise being made. But no swing, actually just holding, trying to set this late round flank up instead. Now the moment has come. Only a classic, but an ult available. That could be big. If she can ult these players towards long, her teammates can swing on site. Maybe they can build something of this.
Look at this push from Kurumi, just playing inside of the smoke right there. Is scouted out by the dog, and actually the ult on the flank, just like you're talking about. Kaharu coming around the corner is able to find a big kill. All of a sudden, the round's starting to get real awkward for Guild.
This is messy. Festival able to find a 3rd before she falls. It's just Anya, and she only has 20 seconds to work with. Knows that Kaharu is still holding in long, but I'm not sure if she's aware of Len's positioning. 10 seconds, she has to expedite this one, and that clock might just be her downfall. Tap on the spike, ready for the second player, isolates the duel, and now a safe position to plant.
So nicely played from Anya. Has the fault line just returned.
But she wants this fight early. She knows Kaharu is low. She knows she can win this one early, and the angle's just perfect. Anya for the Red Bull clutch.
Nicely played by Anya there. I mean, Fennel putting up one good fight, but not good enough in the end to deal with Anya in that clutch. I mean, this is a situation where just pure chaos unfolding, playing in and around the wall. I do think in the 2 versus 1, Len had ultimate available and could have potentially used that to cut off Long V and allow her teammate Kaharu to actually scale on forward and just play time a little bit more, instead of giving that long-range fight as an option. Things for Fennel to think about, to be sure. At the end of the day, an eco round for them, so happy to get close, but the way Guild have been playing, they are just stacking these rounds up.
You should run.
Another one of these Killjoy ults has been earned for Roxy, and Suzu's just pushing towards Long, trying to make something of her positioning, doesn't get anything for it. Instead, this will likely just be Guild with a free site here.
Well, no, they really like these fakes. It looks like it is a free site. They have taken the site with 2 players, really just 1.
Never mind, not a fake. But wait a minute, this could actually get weird. Festival, again on one of these fast flanks. Here's these rotators coming back. And that might trigger her teammates to tuck in, wait for the flank, but Ness so aware. 2 rounds in a row where she's done that.
It's actually ridiculous how this works out. Roxy with the timing, pushing into connector as well. It actually pays off for them, not instantly taking the site because of the confusion that Fennel have. It's like, wait, is it a fake? They should be on site, but no one's planting. What's going on? All of a sudden, you hear multiple players rotating through CT, and yet they're also in your spawn. I don't know. It's just so chaotic to think about for Fennel. What exactly is happening in all of these rounds, and Guild are going to be able to take a 7th.
Yeah, Fennel just going to be forced to save in this one. Already a lot of momentum.
Definitely. And you know what? I feel like everyone yesterday saw all the Fennel dancing. Okay. Right? Like, we were actually out in the audience. We like they were having a good time. We were sort of dancing with them.
It was fun.
It was a whole lot of fun. But the problem with dancing, if you've ever, gone, DJ on or something, you got to warm up into it. Okay. Right? You don't just instantly get out on the dance floor and start break dancing. Right? You gotta sort of sit in the corner, wait, see what's going on. So that's what we're seeing from Fennel right now. It's the early stages, right? Maybe even map 1. You wait for that it's all loosened up.
They're trying to find their groove still.
And then once they win a couple of rounds, that's when the hands get up in the air. That's when they start to feel themselves, have a good time. But it requires those few rounds to start sacking up for them to build a comeback.
They have to unlock the dance. They have to unlock the joy to come back in.
Exactly.
The secret power. We'll see if they have time to unlock it, because Guild is keeping it pretty locked down.
Yeah, they are no fun allowed, right? Music off. Unmute. The music has died.
Sad. Really tragic to see the absolute destruction of fun in the server, but maybe there'll be something more in this round.
I don't know.
Have ult, though.
They are about to zoom into the site. There is no safe area on this map whatsoever. Kaharu is just sort of tucked back into secret, has somehow survived his festival. Trades 1 for 1.
And there's another one of these flanks wrapping back through in mid, but it will just be Roxy taken down. Claudia falls as well. Smurfette needs to work her way in and try and take a fight here, even the odds, but she's getting hounded down by this utility. Doesn't matter. Run and gun the fade away onto the Astra player. And now only 3 left. Look at the guns, too. It's a tour de force, but it's fine if you find the right angle. Nets is down, Smurfette spotted, and Suzu just doing it all.
Oh, yeah, closing out the round with a couple of op shots to get that one done. But also, I think, a great adaptation from Fennel. Playing 3 players in art, knowing that Guild keep pushing 1 by 1 into art. It's all about the post-plant art control for them. So I think that is something they need to carry into these last 2 rounds of the half.
Yeah, another big round for Suzu, too. She is the newest addition to this roster, technically just on loan from Zeta Division, but her story's been really cool, right? She was the first woman in the Japanese servers to hit Radiant from Japan. On top of that, like, coming into this team, it was this idea of, like, hey, I'm kind of the odd one out here. I'm not used to it. But at this point, like, she's talked about, like, how much the team is just brought her in and how good the vibes have been. Just they all feel like friends.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. You literally see that on stage, right? Dancing together, hugging each other, high-fiving, everything. It really does feel like such a solid, tight-knit group between one another that there is no odd person out. Just does not exist with this squad.
Absolutely not, but we'll have to see if they can convert a little bit more off of it. They're back to this setup in lane. Contact off the trademark. Hasn't really been tested yet, but Smurfette gets in, gets out. Quick operation from Dylan.
Cat gonna hunt down, track down Guild members in mid. Guild have been very good, I think, at not overcommitting into any area. Right now they're just zooming into B-Link, but still not necessarily fully sending it towards this B site as the spike does tempt down long.
Okay,
I mean, huh? The wide swing from Ness just clothesline Suzu.
Operator versus Astra with a Vandal, and somehow the Vandal's winning that one out. Down long. Absolutely ridiculous from Ness. She has been so good thus far in this tournament. I think she's like probably the most underrated player on this team. She might even be the best player on this team.
She is just owning. I mean, even in this game, just like the most like Giga Chad swings ever too, right? Like who does that? Just sprinting down long. You could pull back star or anything, you know. No, doesn't care. Is just gonna actually take that fight up against the operator every single time. Oh, that one hurts, and I think Fennel just going to save these ultimates here. Maybe even save the rifles, too, with just one more round.
Though. Look at Roxy, the rat herself, already back in their spawn. Yeah, no saving today.
I do appreciate that Len goes ahead and tries to get the knife as well as she falls down. She's like, an honorable duel? No, absolutely not. Shut down. The gun does her in.
So a bit of a dishonorable Prime Gaming flawless for Guild there, but still do love to see it for them.
Absolutely no honor whatsoever. The flank, the pinch, you know, just absolutely brutal. Watch this again. The knife.
Actual NT there. And you can see Guild's laughing about it too. They know what's going on.
Suzu stepping up forward, down long, just that Sheriff in hand. Was so good back on the pistol round, but a little bit different when the enemy team brings rifles into play. I do feel like Guild have just been so crisp on this attacking side. Again, no real options for Fennel to find flanks or whatsoever because of how well Roxy's controlled mid. And, well, the Astral ult is in play too, so it's a free plant one more time.
Nice seize to stop Smurfette, but it doesn't really matter with that wall up. This is going to be Guild able to just play this post-plant for long, and oh, they've got a lurk. It's Roxy just applying pressure. Kind of a crazy repeat to take, but she wins it out regardless, and Smurfette has one of her own. Confidence flowing here for Guild, and Fennel, not much more to work with on this retake. Haru does have that rifle. Utility to work with too, it's something.
It is. You have the Cosmic Divide as well for Len if they actually manage to get out on site.
They have just been locked out for eons.
Yeah, there's double mollies on the spike too. Like, you gotta act quickly, you gotta act now. And yeah, there's a kill traded back by Len, but still just a 2 versus 5. Claudia entrenched in backside, ready to trade, swing off of her teammate. And the clock ticks away. I mean, the round's just lost.
It's done and dusted. Fennel taking a little bit too long on that retake, and Guild do claim 9-2. Great work out of them. I love the way that they're manipulating the map with this Killjoy.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the way Guild needed to bounce back, right? You don't expect the EMEA #1 seed to fall down into the loser's bracket to begin with, but to come out with a really strong showing on the first half, full confidence on these swings as well. They feel so strong heading into the second half.
Yeah, well, a bit of an opportunity to for Fennel to recuperate, maybe come back stronger in the second half as we head to the desk.
Thank you so much, guys. And, you know, a great showing in that first half for Guild there. And Sapphire, I mean, right out of the gate, you're seeing that coordination. It definitely feels like at the beginning they were a little bit rocky, a little bit nervous, but then after that, they were just basically guns firing perfectly.
Yeah, we saw a lot of confidence, especially in round 7 is a perfect example. Smurfette is just taking those really great quick entries on that Neon, and this is what we wanted to see from her. There's getting a lot of A main control here, and while she does get these 2 frags, the team gets the side. It was beautiful.
It's a double
team gets
one.
the early plant. Suzu does punish them, but then there's another layer of that. They're pushing so much, but then Anya is waiting for them, and they finish up the round. Just beautiful retake.
I love what I'm seeing here because I was talking about how nervous Guild was yesterday. This is not the same Guild that I'm seeing today. I see a little bit of mistakes, you know, maybe in overheating sometimes, but the way that they're setting themselves for victory is insane. That was a double stump because first you get the breach ult, then you get the Neon one, and I wanted to take a look, moving ahead, moving forward, to 2 players that need to close this one up. They need a very, you know, determined both Anya and Ness, because they have to be the ones in charge of stopping Festival. You know, this first half, let's say we needed Zuzu to be the one shutting down Smurfette. That didn't happen. So if we want Guild to secure this map, we need Anya to keep doing what she's brilliantly doing. The timing for her utility is literally perfect, and we need to keep the sameness with the stalling potential. Looking back every single round, she was everywhere.
Yeah, really, you could see the setups that Anya was providing for the rest of the team. Fantastic.
Yes.
But the silver lining here for Fennel fans is that when you look at the tape before, the defensive side, if I'm correct here, as I look back, I mean, it was not as great for them. Shopify definitely took advantage. Maybe that's where Fennel is looking for that success. Maybe that is where the homework is. Let's go ahead and send it back to Mimi and Ender for the call.
Well, for Fennel fans, this round is very important. You lose this pistol, and the game might just slip out of your grasp.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Now, good news for Fennel is there's not a chamber on the opposite side to deal with. That is the copium you got to go for. B-Long, perhaps ideas for them to attack there, but Guild set up, again, I just really like how Roxy has crafted this Killjoy. Alarm down towards Long, the turret in B-Link too, so no real chance to find any pinch in that area of the map, but Fennel not overcommitting just yet, just trying to find an opening pick for Suzu. She was strong, even in a 3-9 half, very strong on the defense, so give her the chance to take these kills, maybe you can spin things around.
Yeah, and I think what's cool about Killjoy on this map is it kind of, in a way, solves teams that will always break the trip in Link. You have to commit a lot more to get rid of that turret. There's a lot more spots that work for it as well.
Yeah, and we saw like Guild the other day sort of putting Astra Stars. You can see that B-Link. See how that Astra Stars right there? That's going to be a pullback, right? The second the turret fires, they are tagged from the turret, so you move slower, then you get pulled, and the swing comes in. It's brutal.
It's cool stuff, but Guild could be in trouble here. They're a bit trapped in main. A late pinch coming through. They need to win this fight towards Art, but they're succeeding at it. Anya for 2, continuing her reign there. It's actually Smurfette to pick up the second as her teammate falls, and now she's very aware of this play in main. Just sitting within the smoke, biding her time as her team actually hasn't rotated over. I'm not sure if they're aware of this spike being down just yet.
Oh, they are. Smurfette just said, I can do it on my own.
Oh.
Maybe a little bit ill-advised as Len is right there to get the shot.
No, I think it was a good idea.
You think so? Maybe. I mean,
I believe in Smurfette, but
oh no, the clock is ticking down. Well, here's the thing, right? Is Len was really hoping to find a fight. Now the clock ticking so far down, 12 seconds. 2 players in Art gonna swing just before the plant is gonna come on through. Suck there as well. Ness finishes the job.
All right, well, that's an easy wrap-up here for Guild. They'll hit double digits off the pistol, and Fennel, unless they force into this round, it is going to be very tough for them to convert this.
Okay, so here's the thing, Mimi.
Okay.
Is, I don't know. It's going to be tough for them because they didn't actually, or they did manage to get a plant, so maybe they could go for something on their own. I don't think that is going to end up being the call for them. And I actually want to instate some rules for round 2s because I feel like a lot of the time we really, you know, you talk about the game, but it's like it's SMGs versus pistols. Like, let's not get into this. So I believe the conditions for hard analyzing a round 2 are as follows.
Okay.
One is the losing team of the pistols forced out the round, and the second is the team that one pistol loses 2 players. Then there's a chance for it to spin around.
Lost 1 player. We're
No, we don't talk about it just yet.
Okay.
We wait for the second to come through, and then we start to believe, okay?
Okay, I'm waiting. Festival has an SMG. Surely we've met the rules already.
That's sort of, well, no, they picked that up.
Okay, we've met the rules.
We've
now,
met the rules.
Fennel
Talk
has
about
2
the game.
kills, and Guild has a Bucky left. This could be a catastrophe for the EMEA first seed, as they're down to just 2 now. Fennel's been able to split all the way through into this B site, and now Roxy has a shotgun and a ghost for the retake.
You don't think that's ideal?
Probably not.
I don't know, right click used to be pretty good. Oh, she switches up with the Ghost. It's not the Bucky that's going to do you, and it's the Ghost, the Molly too, to push Festival off this angle. Still some belief here. Interesting choice from Festival to eat up some damage and potentially get an earlier peak timing.
Oh, but look at Roxy, she's contacted so close. Len not ready for her. Another kill on the Ghost.
What?
A third! What the hell is Roxy doing?
Roxy is just unreal. With the Ghost, is just finding all of these kills, turning it completely around. Guild managed to win that.
Revise the rules. You can never count Guild out of a second round when they have the money.
Unbelievable. I just don't even know what to make that Festival to. Finding the headshots through the concuss, gotta love that.
That's just a certified Roxy moment. She's been so good.
I mean, the heartbreak, again, for Fennel. It feels like they did everything right that round, and then one Killjoy with a ghost. It's in the name. What can I say?
I'm not biting on that one. Not funny.
Denied. Joke denied. Okay, that hurts.
You just don't get comedy. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's your job now. I'm serious mode. Oh man, and Smurfette with the early push. I mean, good news for Fennel is that still, of course, they're gonna have rifles coming into this one. Bad news is Kurumi already out of the picture.
That's a tough one to recover from. Something good for Fennel, though, is Festival. She's in a pretty solid position here.
And check this out. I gotta note, Fennel smoked off the Killjoy turret. So that's something that is much more difficult, I think, to do with the chamber trip that's a little bit more out in the open, but that will allow them to actually get all the way up into connector.
Roxy should be aware. She saw that smoke, so they're very, very aware of this possibility. You see Smurfette working her way all the way through to contain the possibility of the spawn push.
Is she ready for 2 players, though? Chances for Fennel to trade one another out, or Suzu just to instantly get this kill. Still a tough position to walk into, but Len is good on the shots. Now Anya moving forward. Festival right here around the corner, though, but Anya is just better.
What an adjustment out of her. Excellent thus far in the series, and now a big bit of space to work with. Art reclaimed, and Roxy splitting from the spawn side. She'll have to relent for a moment with this aftershock coming through, and she is being flanked, but it could get awkward here. Roxy aware, though. So ready again from Roxy. This Killjoy does not stop, but Suzu, yeah, that task just too tough. A 12th round to Guild.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a tough one because it feels like Fennel, really creative way, smoking off the turret and then pushing down deep into connector. Very clever idea to come into the round, but just in the fights, Guild winning out nearly every single one. It's hard because you outthink the round, it feels like. You figure out exactly how you want to play it, but the fights just aren't there for you. Festival dropping here really shouldn't happen. It's not really something you can fix, I think, in comms. It's just got to be better play. It's got to be stepping up in the moment here against a very strong Guild roster.
Yeah, Guild is looking excellent right now, and Fennel feel a little bit outclassed. They're going to have to dig deep in this timeout and find something if they even want to have a chance, if we even want to start discussing the possibility of a comeback. Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be Spectres and Bulldogs, it looks like here, just around the 3,000 mark in
Maybe
terms
they should
of,
just buy Ghost.
Credits. Yeah, if Roxy taught us anything, lock in the Ghost, and that's better than guns. Don't think that's what the coach is going to be telling them in this timeout, but you never know.
I would hope Euler has maybe something a little better to be saying. I'm sure he does.
I really, really hope that. Honestly, I think they identified a potential weakness in the defense, right? Being able to smoke off the turret. If they were to show early B-long presence and maybe pull Roxy out of B-Link, they could get past that turret without her re-peeking and seeing the smoke on the turret, because that's the value of the smoke there is, well, if no one's actually playing down in B-Link, they're not aware that you could have crossed in that time window. That's not the idea here. A lot of presence towards A main, not over-committing though, as a couple of players still going to be working down B-long, Suzu in particular.
And look at this, Roxy saw the gap that got created and instantly changed
that.
it. New setup, so good out of her and Guild. Every round they have something new. They're not getting complacent even though they're stomping.
And the Killjoy setup is in B-Link because they're pushing down B-long. You don't need the alarm there to guard for that. Fennel blitzing out onto the site. Great opener by Len. Traded out by Festival too. A very winnable round still here for Fennel.
But they have to deal with the Loch Ness monster lurking in her smoke, ready to pounce out of the water and find something here. In the 3 versus 3, her teammates slow to Johnson. Fat spots out Festival. Re-swing is good. First kill found. And now only 2. Fatal will be committed for Kurumi. There's a player in main as well. Kaharu, does she swing? Can't. She's spotted out by the utility. And Ness is there. She's activated from the deep. Guild is ready. 13-3, a dominant map number 1.
Absolutely smashing opening here. Guild giving them the business on that one. Look, I think favorites coming into this match, definitely Guild. Fennel, the underdogs, with just a great story, but even this was a wider gap than I was expecting.
Yeah, after what we saw from Fennel yesterday, being able to take that map, even they themselves were saying, hey, we're surprised by that. We feel like we can do anything now. It really felt like they were on course to make this one close, but Guild just so ready, so disciplined, and showing so many different looks in that game.
Next 10 minutes going to be very important for Fennel to keep the spirits up as they move over to Haven as the next map. Guild's map choice, so lots to think about in the Fennel camp. Very different vibes from yesterday where they very nearly closed that series out.
Yeah, you can feel the weight of this matchup. No longer are they dancing, chilling on the stage. It's a lot more serious. It's a lot more knowing of the impending flight home if they're not able to make these changes.
Elimination on the line. One of these two teams will go home. Crew was our first team we had, unfortunately, to send home. Feels like it's too soon, and for either of these teams as well, same feelings on that. So much pressure for these two squads, and I feel like Suzu was a standout player for Fennel. If anyone's going to step up as we move into Haven, it has to be her.
So many moments from her, but on the Guild side, you have so many players you have to shut down. Roxy playing incredible. Ness on a heater, Anya's utility on point. It really does seem like everything is working well for Guild.
And could I interest you in a Claudia? Like, oh my god, absolute machine throughout this game. Unbridled confidence.
Oh. Yeah, absolutely incredible. But that will wrap things up for map number 1. Still more to go in this final elimination series of the day. We'll send things to a quick break with the desk on the other side.
It was Fennel's pick, but it seems like the plan backfired big time, as it is going to be GuildX walking away with the win 13-3 in rather dominating fashion. Of course, Goldenboy here alongside with Kukuka as well as Sapphire as we break everything down. And you know, Sapphire, I mean, kind of, you know, covering, I guess, the macro picture of it all was that, you know, you kind of look at the draft, you think this may be a smart play for them, but now here we are, Fennel backs against a wall here, and that was just not the way that they wanted that map to go at all.
Yeah, going in Fennel's mindset here, they might have tried to grab Pearl, knowing that Guilds really suffered and let that slip away from them in the second half. But instead, they didn't really play to their strengths. And instead of like grabbing a map like Icebox, they tried to counter Guild on Pearl. It just didn't play out.
Yeah. I think that what matters here is that Guild saw what they did yesterday, and they didn't want to replicate it exactly. And in such a short window of time, what was definitely a weakness for Fennel, it was definitely a strength for Guild. Being like, okay, at least we know what not to do. We saw most of the tendencies still back. We saw a lot of Smurfette just going in, going for the duels, going on the hunt constantly. Some of the things that we love to see in Guild, and we saw a Fennel that fell into the biggest trap that you can fall when you're playing against Guild, and it's playing their game, waiting for Smurfette every single round. They know that she's going to appear somewhere, and they played super, super scared.
And what we did yesterday, Smurfette was like overheating, overpeaking, getting a little too aggressive on that defensive side. Not today. She played it cool. She played her role. Claudia, her IGL positioned her in the right places. Roxy, very versatile with her KJ utility. All well. Good team play. Yeah,
you could definitely get the vibe that there was, you know, cleaning up of the gameplay there for Smurfette, and I think that spoke volumes throughout the entire series. Again, you know, you highlighted Anya earlier, the way that she was setting everyone up 100%. As well. Like, it enables your Neon to be able to just fly in, do the things that they need to do in those instances. That was just, honestly, a textbook way to play Pearl if you're looking at those compositions. But let's actually move forward, though, to the HyperX Reflex moment of the day here, because we got to give it to Roxy. This was a massive play, because this was something off the backs, Sapphire, of Fennel clutching so many kills, and then Roxy just, I mean, she's unreal.
Oh, such good awareness here. She was so ready for that. Oh, just such a nice headshot. Beautiful.
Well, actually, funny enough, I thought that we had another Roxy play there, but that just goes to show how great Roxy was. Because that round 11, the one that, not the round 11, but the one that Roxy...
I think you're thinking about with the pistol. You're thinking about the ghost. I do not know. I think that we saw this yesterday as well with the Sheriff. I do not know what it is with Roxy and pistols. She just goes ham with it. She was also playing with the Bucky, but of course in that distance you're not gonna right
and that
people.
Round was pivotal.
And she doesn't doubt. She was like, I don't even care. There's 2 people here. I'm just gonna go on the hunt. I'm literally gonna place W onto them, and that is the thing.
That round was pivotal as well. Yeah. Like Roxy's impact throughout that game was felt. Everyone from Guild was fragging out.
You know, hear me out. I understand that, and I think that Roxy is a player that you can always count on. But if you take a look at the composition that this team is playing, at the compositions that they play along the maps, you're going to see Roxy most of the times playing on that Killjoy. So, of course, we know that she's a great player, but she also has the freedom of sticking to one agent and having the possibility of master it.
Very true, very true. Well, let's go ahead, though, and feast our eyes on some aim lab shoot-arounds here, because we are going to be taking a look at Fennel's Festival as we get ready for this one. And you know, I think even though it wasn't the pop-off game that we are used to seeing from Festival, still played rather well. Her and Suzu were definitely picking up a lot of slack there on the field, but we are certainly going to be keeping our eyes on her as we go into this second game here, especially for Haven.
Yeah, of course. This is going to be a fun map for her. She's one of the team's superstars. She was mastering her aim there, and so we're going to need to see that in Haven so they can stay alive here.
Yeah, and well, let's actually go ahead and see where we're going for map number 2. As we mentioned before, it is going to be Haven. And interesting little factoid here for Haven is that Kukuka, Fennel have not lost Haven since the formation of this team. 100% win rate. They've only played it 4 times, but again, this team's only been together for like, you know, a week.
Exactly. It's a team that has played, what, 18, 19 maps in total. So, of course, it's a complicated match, a complicated sample, let's say, because we do not have the progression. We have seen them play a little bit of different compositions, changing maybe just the controller. We were talking about Festival, and we need her to shine on the Jet.
But, you know, on the other side, this is a really, really good map for our Guild. We even saw
the one that they picked yesterday.
Exactly. We saw them take down Shopify on it. What was very interesting, that even when they were down 4v5, they won every single 4v5. And that's because Roxy's still alive. And Roxy is essentially like a 6th player with all her util.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, to say the least, how this plays out. I mean, I'm worried about Fennel, genuinely, because if you start losing this, right, you have a 100% win rate, you start losing it, then I worry about the mental.
Oh, yeah, of course. And not only that, I mean, this definitely could feel kind of like a win for them, being like, okay, we decided to go for the Pearl. It didn't go as planned. But yesterday, we also had a rough start. And look at what they did on what we did on the second match.
This is true.
Of course, I wanted them to pick Icebox just because of the performance that they had and how surprising it was. But maybe they thought it could be too predictable. As you said, they hadn't been together for that much time. So, of course, your textbook is not going to be so long, so extensive. So, now jumping onto Haven, I love to see Roxy. We were talking about her. I love to see her smiling. Definitely, as I said, a different face of Guild that we're seeing. Now, for Fennel, scratch that game. Think about what you did yesterday. Think about overcome and think about all the things that you have ready and set for this Haven, because you're going to need to use everything that you have.
And then, unfortunately, a different face for Fennel right there. We're not seeing the dancing. We're not seeing the smiling. I know. We need them. Maybe the coach has to put his fedora back on, get them
get everyone going.
Back into the mood. Exactly.
All right, well, Prime Gaming Agent Select, Fennel's last chance here. At this point now, they have no other choice. It's do or die here at the Game Changers Championship in Berlin. Win this, force that game 3. You're going to go to bind, I believe. Yeah, you go to bind. Yeah. So maybe that's where you can pull a rabbit out of the hat, and well, in this case, out of the fedora. But let's see now what we're going to end up getting here, right? The KJ for Guild. You know, you're going to probably see the chamber here as well with Suzu.
That's what I'm expecting to maybe some changes, maybe Festival. Okay, she's going to stick to that Jet. Maybe she wanted to go for something more explosive, like the Raze. We have talked about all the combos that you have available, but no surprises here on the lineups. The same agents that these teams have played before. Of course, we did not expect Guild to change their composition from one day to another, especially in the one map that they won.
Yeah, well, here we go, folks. For Fennel, it's a chance to stay alive in this best of 3. But for GLDX, they could shut it out here and now and move on in this competition. Let's send it back over to the meme-der.
I don't know if we're making improvements, but I want to pivot to something more normal because for Fennel now, this looks bleak, but they've been here before, and I want to paint a story. East Asia qualifier, to get into this event, they lose their first match. They look down, they look out. A player on their team is feeling really bad. The mental is shot. But that night, the entire team bands together. They go out together. They have a fun night. They get the vibes back up. They go on to win that event and qualify here.
Not just they go out and have fun out. They were out until 6 a.m., we were told, and then woke up the next day is game day.
On a match day, by the way.
And they just smashed, just absolutely insane. I gotta shout out our casting counterparts in the Japanese scene, Hiromu-san and Yukishiro-san, for helping us out and giving us that information. They're over on the Japanese channel right now. And we'll see if Fennel got their mojo back during the last break after getting absolutely smashed on Pearl.
It's either that or Guild meets Cloud9 White in less than 24 hours. The pressure on for both of these teams, but Fennel in particular, as Guild will look towards B, or excuse me, Fennel instead towards B on this opening round, and Karumi just caught blindsided by Roxy.
Yeah, Roxy is just still getting it done from map to map now, although the positioning of Festival is ridiculous. Chances now to pinch down on Ness, who's playing long, but it doesn't matter when the 1 kill comes in, 2 kills comes in, all the people we were hyping up in the last map. A prime gaming flawless to silence Fennel.
That is not the round that Fennel needed to get things going. That is a round that, if you are not strong in the mental department, we'll send you right back into that rut. We'll have you feeling just like map number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it just hurts, right? Because I really do feel like Fennel as a team, they play off the fun, they play off a little bit of that momentum. They just need rounds, and they couldn't get rounds back on Pearl to get completely shut out like this. That is going to sting. Oh yeah, we're feeling it over in the Guild camp.
Yeah, Joint is happy to see his team playing this well, and I'm sure they are too. It's a nice little setup here, not a Season 8 combo or anything like that. You got the Jet instead, but still getting some of that value in the opening gambit.
Yeah, no races whatsoever. I gotta say, it does simplify things for Fennel, sort of, you know, putting Suzu and Festival, 2 star players just on agents that want to go out, fight, find opening kills. Not tons of support behind them, but I don't know. We'll see what they can do as this game does continue to progress, because I do love the element of having the Killjoy into the mix. Makes lurking so much more difficult, especially, you know, compared to something like a Cypher. You have just way more tools at shutting stuff down. As Koharu does trade out 1 kill at the very least. But Smurfette, what is this?
Psychopath. She's a Marshall, by the way. Oh, it's gonna work. Okay, all good. No worries.
Yeah, Anya just gets a 3K, and Smurfette is just pretending that the Marshall is a shotgun.
You learn something new every day. I do want to take this time to give some credit to Guild and their coaching staff, because I think the compositional decisions that they make, well, somewhat unique, work really well for their style. I've loved seeing Roxy back on this Killjoy. The implementation both here and on Pearl has looked really good.
Yeah, Roxy is just so based, because for the longest time she just has played Killjoy on so many different maps. You know, like the Ascent too. Like there is this idea of, hey, if you want to put Smurfette on the Jet, right? You don't necessarily want to run the Chamber next to it. Yes, give us the Killjoy, please. I love it.
Roxy's just a good, honest player. Too many dishonest Valorant players these days, locking in the cringe fade raise, locking in the Chamber, all these agents cheap. When you just get the good, honest Sentinel action in there, you do love to see it. We do have a technical pause. Gear, of course, seems to always be the devil. We'll hope to get back in just a moment.
Yeah, you know, maybe some time. Honestly, this is the moment where I feel like we need...
I need them to be dancing right
now. I was going to say, we need some people in the audience to start dancing and feed that energy to them. You know what I'm saying? You know, like get that sort of teamwork going on back and forth. But no, it looks all serious business at the moment between these teams.
Well, it looks like we are getting back into the business, though.
The number is getting smaller. That means we're going to play soon.
Very astute.
Yes.
Very smart analysis there, I suppose.
There you go. I do what I can. Interestingly enough, Guild set up like you would if you had a Fade, Raze, Breach combo, but no Fade in this one. Instead, just posting up Smurfette on the angle. The only player actually carrying a rifle into this round, so making sure she can find a fight very early on with the suck clicking cuss. Festival is just trying to escape from all this utility, and she succeeds for a moment, but Smurfette is there for 2 kills.
There's a C's deep as well that they're pushed into by the Aftershock. This is so good. And it's interesting. Guild's approach to this map feels like when it was like the triple flash meta of this map and Aster was busted, where everyone would pull off the rip and defenders would instantly have a lobby control every round. It's since moved to that control through Fade Raze combos, but now they're kind of rewinding the clock and have their own style of taking that space.
And I think a lot of people shifted away from the Jet because the Raze allows you to get kills, get big damage with the combinations without putting your life on the line. You don't have to take the gunfights, and hey, that is certainly ideal as Anya finds another. And yet, the Jet forces you to get involved, which, hey, the way Guild's been playing, and after a game like Pearl, too, like, absolutely puts Smurfette on the Jet. That's the normal pick for her, but looking real good.
And look how many players they can keep towards A because of this Killjoy setup. Mid is completely locked down. Everyone else can rotate wherever they please to take the fights needed to close out this round. It's just really well constructed from Guild.
By the way, Smurfette, who was a lobby at the start of the round, looped all the way back to Garage after being taken down to 0 HP and is now shooting Gaharu in the back. Like, what is that? As Anya gets yet another 3K. Guild just doing circles around Fennel.
Yeah, Fennel have a tendency on this map. You heard that us talking about it in the pre-show, that they are the slowest team to plant in this tournament. And I think that's kind of a token of their region, right? A lot of teams in East Asia and in Japan love getting super aggressive right off the rip on attack, and on defense, and it will give you those opportunities. But with the way Guild plays, they're not really giving those chances away. So instead, you end up in this situation where you're holding this default, where you're not really gaining any space, and instead you're just kind of sitting in spawn and letting your opponents take really pivotal map control.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to take space against the utility use that was just so crisp out of Guild, right? The combination of the Astra Pull on top of the Breach Concuss, and then there's just a Jet right up in your face. Like, it's just so hard to actually deal with all of those pieces working together. It does seem like a very strong sort of plan coming through from Guild. Ideas to take away A lobby control very early on in rounds. I would not be surprised to see much more of this on the rifle rounds.
I want to say that Fennel should just up the pace, play their own game, go crazy, act like they're playing just any other team and not care about the scoreline. But the thing with Guild's composition is they have so much good stall utility. You have a Killjoy, you have an Aster, there's always going to be something in your face to shut you down, and by the time that happens, Smurfette is going to be there killing 3 players.
I think you expect the identity of this Guild comp to be sort of setting up Smurfette to go for early peaks, go for early fights. Sure. This round is very probably going to be in Garage, so maybe for Fennel, it's not an immediate burst out, but it's sort of test where's the utility that is going to be setting up Jet, right? Where is the Breach Concuss? Because there's probably a Jet coming in behind it, and then you can make a very quick decision off of that, right? You see the Astra Pull, you know Jet was Garage. Guaranteed that's where she is.
And it's really interesting too, because these are the exact same plays that a Fade Raze composition makes, just with the Jet instead.
Yeah, it just is a slight little variation that can catch you off guard. So I think Fennel make the read. It's going to be a heavier stack over towards C, getting very quickly in towards B. And we saw previously Festival go for this A-Link push, so she is zooming over there, waiting to potentially duel against Anya, but what? Just a one tap. Ow!
Yeah, 1 bullet, 1 kill. And Ness is here too, flicks around. Karumi not given the opportunity, but Len is there for the backstab and able to trade out. Spike is on the floor. Gaharu is stuck in spawn, and yeah, Anya's just on a heater here. 3rd kill already found. Simple in that anti-eco for Guild.
She got a 3K 3 out of 4 rounds now. Is that actually what Anya has done in this game? I can hardly believe it. Yeah, 9-0. So there you go. And the other round
stuff going on here.
The other round she probably got 3 assists. You know, so it's just perfect. You know, congruity in numbers right there. Absolute madness. And yet I think, okay, Fennel wiped that round off. The theory is there. See where the early Astra Pull Breach stun is going to be. Then you know there's a Jet peeking behind that. You expect the lean to be there, because I think the way Guild have been playing is sort of 2 players in the general vicinity of Jet and then Killjoy on the opposite end of the map. So I think that early scouting could really inform their mid-round decisions.
This time Smurfette is shut down. We were talking about the double contact of Suzu and Festival needing to be big, and that's a pivotal opener.
Claudia's not done though. She's immediately following up on that one. getting a little bit ambitious and continuing on the flank. She could be an absolute pain here as Suzu steps forward. Doesn't fully commit to the fight, though. She's spotted out.
Breach ult available, though. Guild can go fast on this retake sword. See, they're looking to concede that space and push back in quickly, but Fennel's a different idea, trying to push through garage window, but Roxy's better than that and realizes the positioning. Kurumi able to get one up. It's not impressive, but the trade is back, and now there's space for Guild.
And the spike was in window in Kurumi's hands. It just drops up there, and now you have just an almost impossible decision to get back into garage. Interestingly enough, Roxy fell away from garage window, so it is just Claudia here. They believe that she can hold down garage. I don't know if that's going to necessarily be the case.
They want to reframe through mid. They trust her to stall, so they'll push together on the other side. That's great from Guild, and they were absolutely right. Claudia up to the task, and Karu alone. 1 versus 2 now. She knows the positioning of the other 2 players, and she now has a spike. This is very winnable. Oh, she might just go for it. Oh, no. She thought they rotated through spawn. The breach ult gets nothing now.
Absolute confusion off of that one too, and now they know where the plant is going to be. They know exactly where Koharu is going to come out from and peek them as all the utility comes down. I don't think Koharu knows where they are, but gets 1 kill. A chance for the 1v2. Koharu comes up clutch to get Fennel on the board.
I don't even know what to say to that one. Everything went wrong that is possible in that round. The spike falls in garage. No one is there to claim it. Guild moves away from it, refights in mid. You breach out the complete wrong location, but she just wins it anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to like go back and remember the information that Koharu actually had, because I don't think she saw Ness behind Roxy.
Only knew about the one, maybe.
That's why she was sort of ulting towards spawn, expecting that she was maybe getting pinched down on. That's the only thing I can think of, and I think in the replay that did confirm my suspicions off of that one. But I mean, even zooming back to the start of the round, it opens up with Smurfette getting shut down. That is so big for Fennel to have a chance in this one. This time around, it's just absolutely scuffed. Even in the 1 round, they have no guns, Mimi.
Yeah, Koharu is a very kind player and gives her weapon over to Festival, but everyone else has pistols. That's it.
Yeah, frenzies, I guess. You know, we've seen them do some damage. No, that's not going to be easy.
Suzu's 2-off chamber ult, maybe that's something. Festival's 2-off
2-off knives? Sure,
yeah.
Sure.
You could get some ults rolling. You just need these first couple kills.
Oh no, but they're walking into a stack. You know, 2 players deep on the back of site. That's going to be a third as Anya rotates on over. So Fennel try to activate this pinch with Festival fully pushing out, actually going over towards the B site. This is wild.
I've never seen a player who dashes at her opponents more than Festival. Some psychotic stuff, but Anya even more so lines up too. Koharu will trade back with the frenzy, but that gun's on the floor, unrecoverable. And Fennel's walking straight into Claudia's line of fire. She doesn't miss those. First frag easy onto Suzu. Smurfette in support, and Len, there's just no chance. 1v4 frenzy, and can't even find one.
Unreal. Claudia lines them up on that one. Fennel have really liked to activate Festival, whether it's moving into B and then pushing A-Link, or there sort of wrapping around through C-Link onto the B site. I think it's very creative, but she has just been silent so far, has not managed to find a kill in 6 rounds. The star player, one of the stars next to Suzu previously, but not finding the impact she needs to get her team these wins.
At this point, it seems like Guild is just trying to speed run towards Cloud9 White. They want as much time to prep as possible. And for Fennel, they are really struggling to find solutions.
Yeah, imagine that. #1 seeds from NA and EMEA matching up, just like everyone expected. Except it's in the lower bracket. Yeah, definitely not what everyone had on their prediction cards in their pick'ems or whatnot. But still, work to be done here on Haven. 2 big ultimates, I think, for Guild to try and secure this round. Roxy could potentially just throw that lockdown in if there's going to be pressure, but nah, she wants to fight. She wants to hunt. Festival is on the board, and now they can pinch into sight.
Run and gun and dash forward. Nest down, though. Trade good from Suzu, so a C site taken.
Festival's always dashing forward. It's absolute madness. Still big numbers advantage for Fennel. Big meaning 1.
That's a something.
It gets the job done.
Yeah.
It could be big with Smurfette, just the operator to try and get this retake to happen. Guild committing the ultimate for it.
Well, he's actually gonna only connect onto one here. Smurfette. It's over to that Vandal. Hunt is there, broken immediately. Kurumi as well. Still no ears, stuck on default. Swing coming through, Guild is here, and 2 players on site are down.
Garage
Still
flank.
Len alive, and there's a flank coming through. An Astropole, that can be first contact. Not coming through just yet. Smurfette is holding. Gets it to half. 1 versus 2 now. She can try and isolate these duels, but it should be possible. Oh, not quite.
Absolutely insane. I think Fennel had expected Smurfette to pull off the spike, which she ended up doing. Definitely a difficult decision to full commit onto the defuse right there, but Fennel do pull together a very nice round. The late reflank from Kaharu into Garage. Necessary, I think, to have that sort of 90-degree angle, make it really awkward to deal with a long player too.
There's the laughs back. There's the smiles. That's what we've been waiting.
That's
the
step
last
1.
hour and a half for.
Right. First, smile. Second, laugh. Third, the dance moves. They bust them out. We're still on step 2.
The 3-step program. Let's see if they can complete it today. They're on the road towards it. Already good information towards A short, but look at this stack for Guild. 4 players strong. Heavy on this A lobby. Fight and Suzu. This is a very pivotal shot there. Loses her life to Ness.
I mean, Fennel just instantly sprint away from the A site. Like, how many people did they actually note there? All 4 with the utility flying on in. There's a turret to spot them working down. See Long, the ultimate, gonna sell this idea as well. All remaining players of Fennel onto the C site. In terms of a post plant, Kaharu does have the ultimate. Oh my god, they're going for an insane push!
It's an awareness of this lockdown. It's actually a great play. They're going to be able to break the utility. Roxy, though, she's QB sneaking this one. She can go back through the site. Anya and Spawn finds 2. Now this is a strange pinch where Fennel have a post plant, but they're playing off-site, and they're wrapping back to Garage, where it's kind of planted for them, but not really. And now there's a Rolling Thunder available, too. Only Goharu left. Roxy's getting this diffused through. Goharu, they don't know! They have absolutely no awareness as to her position, and now it's just a 1v1. Claudia not sticking. Kaharu has the read. Where is Claudia spotted? Just on the other side, but no utility. A jump peek through. Awareness there. Time is her game. Kaharu just needs that final shot again. Claudia off this spike. And another tap. She needs to stick eventually. She needs this half now. And it's just not going to happen. Kaharu with the pistol. She may miss the shots, but she'll get the round.
What a play. The dance of Kaharu there. That is not an easy one. With the pre-fire, the jump peaks, everything. Getting the right timing too. Waiting right before the chance. You have to get it to half. The Red Bull clutch from Kaharu there. Necessary, and all of a sudden, in the madness of that round, we're within 2.
Okay, I think I need a 3-step program for figuring out that round, because we started things off with a hit towards C, then it's a fight through Garage.
That's 2.
Killjoy ult broken with the deep push spawn, and then a wrap back through Garage, a retake from CT, and then Kaharu clutch. That's like a lot of steps.
That was like 6. I was counting them on my fingers because I realized I'm just not going to say it out loud. That was 6 steps right there, I think. Maybe.
Tough program to learn.
It was a really hard program.
Fennel's successful with it.
We'll see if they can replicate it here. Again, Kaharu, ultimate team player right there, clutches it up. Obviously ended up dying at the end, but the only player with a Bulldog into this round. We'll see if the smoke can open things up. That was successful for them, but if it ends up being, it looks like they were trying to go for that sort of B pinch. Again, working up into Garage, into window, towards ceiling, potentially. No, there's this turret up here, so they're going to put the smoke down and blitz into A-Link. Could potentially plant for that area as well, or just go all the way to the A site.
Smurfette is completely alone here, but she does have this operator, and the first shot will miss. She's stuck now, needs a fight here against Len. Achieves it. Bladestorm too. Is she confident enough to go for it?
Oh yeah.
The operator.
Is that even a question, Mimi?
Let's see it. Op shot, that's a second. Bladestorm, not yet. Still, just on that op, just buying time, and Roxy is on a flank.
Who's flanking who?
A double flank, by the way, for Guild to wrap back through. Smurfette is still alive in short. There's another piece of utility available from the breach of Anya! And Smurfette finds that one too. Festival alone, but this one's winnable. 1 versus 2. Dash forward into the face. No kill this time. The Turkish shed enough.
Oh my god, what is going on here? Smurfette with the shots, the repeaks, the repositions, just walking around with no fear whatsoever. She is saying she is better than everyone else in this server with movement like that, and who can blame her?
Every one of these rounds is like a round I've never seen before. You know when you shuffle a deck of cards, and it's probable that no one has probably ever shuffled that exact order of cards before.
Yeah, there's like 15 billion kajillion possible combinations.
It's like that with this game of Valorant. This is a round you've never seen before. The last round one, you probably haven't either. And it's just gonna keep going.
I mean, Fennel certainly have a unique style, right? They love wrapping around to the back on you, right? Instead of just a normal, casual A hit through A lobby, which early on they got blasted by, it's like these B pushes into A link. Could plant it on B, but nah, we prefer the A site. We want to go for that. It's madness.
It seems like Fennel's leadership was like trained at a military academy. You have to have a flank. You have to attack from 2 angles at all times, but it kind of works for them. It is very unusual, but it's been effective for a few of these rounds. They are back down to the eco this round, though.
I think that ultimate only actually tagged the 1 player. Actually looks like 2, maybe even 3. Ness with this push on forward down towards long. They've held these positions before. You're never ready for Roxy, though.
No idea about this second player. Can she get more, though? A little bit wounded. Only the Bulldog in this corner. Double swing, but no trade just yet. Festival will eventually complete that one. So long control in this post plant, but the retake's very fast.
And Smurfette is on the flank with an operator. Of course, instantly reacts for the shot. Karu, we've seen it before. Was a 1v3 previously, but not going to be possible against the skill of Anya. Guild move on to 7.
7-3 now. Fennel looked like they were going to be able to push towards a competitive half, but Eco round not successful. This one now will be very pivotal for them. The difference between 9-3 and 7-5 is a world, not just in the round count and in the ability to come back, but also just for their mental, to feel good going into this half.
I mean, the thing about Fennel is you can try to think about how you play out the next round, but it's like, is it going to be a normal side execute, or is it going to be a mid split off towards C or A through one of the links? We might actually get our first real attempt going here with a peek down towards C long. Looks like the mid player will just be Len for the time being, but Fennel holding for those flanks. They know the last few rounds, Guild have really been committing to that, so it all comes down to Suzu's positioning outside of A lobby, which gets instantly noted.
Here.
Again, a double flank. Fennel's ready for it this time. They've found awareness what Guild likes to do.
Very
and
nice.
Suzu very good to hold. She's ready for the second as well, but Claudia a little bit further than expected.
That gun barrel is just like so far out, it's unfair. Like Suzu doesn't know anyone's there, but gets shut down regardless.
And Claudia's just going to stay here now with the operator posted. Like, she is maintaining this space. No one from Fennel testing her yet. Eventually, she will get away, but that's a good chunk of time waned off the clock.
Yeah, Len was right there in window the entire time. Just hears all these shots ringing off. I believe also heard Claudia run back down towards A short, so pretty aware of what should be going on in that area.
But look at the value of the Killjoy. Even in a player down situation, they still have full knowledge. There's the turret activating.
The smoke
onto
was
Festival.
not perfect.
Yeah, a little bit off on that one. Festival in a good position here, blinded by Anya. Are they ready for the player gong? Surely you do not expect Festival. She'll claim 2. Guild's retake might just be shut down from there. Claudia only has this operator. A 1 versus 4. Does she even commit to it?
I feel like you keep asking these questions you know the answer to. Of course she commits to it! Her name's Claudia! She's been committing to it all the time!
But she has an op. Maybe,
not anymore.
Like, I feel like Smurfette would maybe like that gun in the next round.
I think she might too, but Claudia's gonna go for the 1v3 regardless. Festival though, with the 4K, that's what you need. That is dance-inducing behavior. I feel like we need a Festival check-in to see what happens, and it comes off of Festival making a very key switch up in her decision-making, right? She's been, whenever they go B, it is an A-link push. 3 rounds, I believe they've done this half alone. This time, no push. Just hides, tucks in backside, and that absolutely breaks Guild's ankles.
Okay, there we go. We see it. We see it. It is back for Fennel. And I have a very important ask for the crowd. If you guys see Fennel dancing, I just need a very loud cheer, just so we know. You know, we can't always see them, so just keep us informed, guys.
It's very important stuff. Suzu gonna be dancing all the way back to the grave, though, because Smurfette opened up that very early peak. Festival instantly switching around the tempo, trying to hunt down players, but Guild, knowing they have a numbers advantage, fall back off of the site and are gonna play 5v4 retake.
Killjoy ultimate available. That's why they're playing this one slow. And Smurfette has blades. She could go for a bit of a cheeky double updraft here if she wants, but here's the breach. Bye-bye Killjoy lockdown. Won't find any effect this time. Claudia from heaven, though, is able to take down Kaharu and find a little bit more information there. You saw Smurfette attempting the jump up, but gets nothing from it. Is Fennel is just playing slow here. That spike not even planted yet.
Somehow there's still a Killjoy turret on A short, right? Just waiting above him. Kurumi's like, wait, we never broke that? Okay, gonna deal with that one. Len playing down A short. No real position for Festival to have a trade, so important she finds that early peek.
Towards heaven though, Claudia waiting to jump out, well timed on the smoke bait. It's only Kurumi, she's found one. But no more to come. 2 players left alive as Guild will close out their half 8-4.
Switching sides.
Really nicely done by them again for Anya's plethora of 3Ks to Smurfette always putting herself in position for the early fights. They shut Fennel down.
Good work from Claudia here. The timing on those smoke baits was really unfortunate. 2 players dying at the hands of Guild, at the hands of Claudia holding that space in heaven. And for Guild, they've got to be feeling confident off of that one, but it's not undoable for Fennel. We'll see how this one goes in the second half after our desk.
Thank you so much. And wow, it has been a scrappy game, to say the least, from both teams, you know, but hey, you know, sometimes Fennel, that's just how they roll.
Yeah, so especially at the beginning of the game and how this whole attack was unraveling, I wanted to take a look back at round 6 because this is the second time that Fennel was trying to get that entry through double doors. We see how they set it up. They know that the kill utility might be there. They have to go for the breakage. Be careful because of the previous round, they had let the spike with all this intention of just going in and forward. The problem is you go into B and you have all angles still to clear. Is a very definitive response for you to decide to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and knowing that you're never going to finish where you start pushing, but it's also a high risk because you do not have the information on Guild. You do expect them, of course, to push because it's Guild, and especially since the first 4 rounds I think had been on that way. To me, Fennel in so many occasions were so fixated to having such an elaborated plan that even if they would have just waited for Guild to push and just waited for the kill, maybe it would have been better.
Exactly, and that's why we see some of their stars. Until Festival had that nice 4K round, both of their star players, Suzu and Festival, were just not getting those usual 2Ks, 3Ks that we're seeing here. You know, obviously Festival, again, picked it up in that final moment, but until then, she was on 6 frags, Suzu was on 5. It wasn't a great half for them. They weren't going for those extra frags that they usually do. So we need those star players to step it up as we go into the second half and hopefully keep their tournament lives alive.
Yeah, especially as you said, this is the last chance that they're going to have. If they want to take this to a 3rd map, we definitely need more from both Suzu and Festival. We need a lot of control. We need a lot of prevention also. Anya has been brilliant. Both her and Koharu, I think, that have been on a different level of breach play. That is something that I want to keep keeping an eye on for next half.
Yeah, for sure. But look, for Fennel, 2 rounds, just pistol, and the next you're in. You're back in the matchup. But for Guild, they could shut it down right here. Let's send it back over to Mimi and Ender.
Well, Guild looking reared up to play Cloud9 white, but Fennel want to stay alive. They want to stay here in Berlin. They want a chance on Bind, and it has to start here.
And it's going to start with Festival and Suzu, the star players holding hands and creeping down C long. No one to intercept them too soon from Guild, apart from Ness, jump peeking that angle. Festival's going to hear that, and that might de-incentivize her from going for the peak. Tried to get the timing on that. It was, as the jumps were fairly consistent, but no dice.
And if Guild's been doing their homework, they should know that Fennel loves these contact pushes. They do it so often on their defensive side.
I hate that. Festival, fun fact, Festival, Korean player on this team, does so much to actually learn the Japanese language. Definitely doing her homework on that one as she opens up with a kill. 2 instantly traded back with Guild going for a very Fennel-like play, looping through ceiling to the back of C.
Yeah, but Festival's still alive. You were talking about her, and she's making damage, but it's only been her to find a kill thus far. Now alone, on the back of B side is Kurumi, and that's a big kill onto Claudia, even 2 versus 2. And Guild playing their post plant from the defender side at spawn, as Fennel is actually having to retake, claim the space in front of them, and then wrap back around to fight.
The thing is, Anya has the fault line available, so I think Fennel need to move a little bit quicker here. And Festival head turned the wrong direction. Fault line comes on through, and Anya finishes the job.
I don't know if that's a miscommunication or what, because the cat just showed someone close right, and Festival takes the wrong angle there. Unfortunately, maybe she was worried about a crossfire with the spawn player.
Yeah, like they're split up both sides.
Yeah, and I don't think she had a cloudburst either to isolate it, but still, unfortunate stuff there for Fennel. That would have been the round to win to make this comeback just that much easier.
And it's just real unfortunate. You're already at an 8-4 deficit. Being on defense, it's just so much harder to actually go for a round 2 force because you don't have the option of like getting the extra money off of a spike plant or anything like this. So Festival or Fennel are not going to go for anything, just some light armor on Festival for the time being. Interesting that Ness is actually playing really, really ratty in this corner for an early push. Suzu, though, has a chance with the shotgun. No, she doesn't.
Absolutely not. Just bullied by the utility there out of Guild. And yeah, Smurfette scale her way on up, find her kill, and it looks like Guild do want to reset this.
Guild don't have to overcommit. Right now, Roxy has Spike and had full utility sort of guarding the A lobby push, had the turret to make sure no one crept out of B main. Again, this Killjoy pick is so based. Like, I want to see more Killjoy on maps. Like, I don't know. I feel like the mid control on attack, very similar to how we saw on Pearl, it just shuts things down so passively where you don't have to put yourself at much risk. And speaking of that risk, right now it is Claudia again looking to creep on forward and spots the head.
Yeah, it feels like Guild is just playing whack-a-mole in this round. Oh, someone popped up. Let's deal with it. Nope, there's someone in mid. Can't deal with that one.
That mole shoots back!
I don't think the moles are supposed to do that.
I don't remember the patch where they give moles guns. Oh my word, Len too and Koharu. Okay. Okay.
Surely there's a regulation against the whack-a-mole being that dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know.
The German government needs to get on this one.
The arcades in Germany a little bit different, perhaps. But, I mean, still, Guild able to move up to 10. And Guild, say, bonuses? Cringe. Rifles coming into play with triple Bulldogs. A Vandal on Smurfette as well. So they are looking to just make quick work of Fennel.
I love watching Anya play because she is like the psychopath star player that will just push and do some chaotic stuff, but she's also the same player that will just take a backseat and be like, okay, it's utility round now. I'm not going to buy a gun. All good.
Yeah, I'm going to wait for, you to over push, and then I'm going to pick up your gun. Say thank you very much. The same turret placed down in mid is smoked off for now, and with Len falling on back C, that is just so brutal. No chance for smokes. Makes hitting these sites way too easy, I think, for Guild.
Here.
Festival hasn't been spotted in this close corner yet, but Guild should be suspicious this is a possibility.
Yeah, that's the thing. With the turret being broken, I don't think Guild necessarily have to refight into mid. That will be the choice with 2 players, so chances potentially to swing off and trade. If Roxy just wins the opening fights, though, there's not much you can do as Koharu's positioning has been given up.
That stun is so good.
There was a suck put down on the ground, too. Like, the utility from Guild is instant. That is not easy to go into star form, put that one down in as little time as Ness required.
It's not like both those players were ready. Okay, we're going to fight mid. We're going to have our utility ready. They were scaling C long while all that was going on. Hear the comm from their teammate and instantly react. Such good work from Guild.
It's also like, that's like not like a practice thing or anything like that. That's instantly reacting to the information on the map and making the decision off of that.
And it shows the quality of the team's communication and just their coordination together to make something like that happen so quickly. It's those little details that make a team like Guild good.
Yeah, it's those little details that let them beat G2 and finally remove them from the throne in EMEA. Suzu, though, speaking of players that can dethrone, 1 versus 2 now as the clock continues to tick down. A couple of good kills can make the highlight reel, but not make a round win. You have to do more. You have to make it happen. It will not, though, as Ness secures the round.
The clock has been the biggest enemy of Fennel, the inaction in the late rounds from time to time. I think back to map number 1, where they're having to retake these B sites, and they're waiting for all of Guild's utility to go down. They're waiting for that gap. And Guild doesn't open it. You have to force your way back in. You have to put your onus, the onus on yourself. You cannot be playing scared in this situation.
You think how Guild play defense, right? Always sending Smurfette into these forward positions. Fennel need Festival to be that player now. She has been in the past. The look is going to be a peek down A long, but it just, it hurts because Fennel just seemed to guess wrong. They went for a lot of these stacks on the ecos, on the half buys, but they just don't get it right. Guild, 5 players working down C here. They're going to use the ultimate to get on through, but it belongs to them entirely.
And it's just going to be this retake for the side of Fennel. Only one weapon to work with. If Festival does get a kill, she'll earn her Blade Storm. Maybe something to try and convert through off of.
The speed of this retake got to come in quickly. Again, long trek for them to get over here, and all 5 players coming to the same position. They work through a Garage player, but Roxy is there, ready to go for the reswing. Suzu versus Roxy, that could determine how this round plays out. Roxy finds the first, but Festival is flying out onto the site, doing a 360. Claudia is there. This Festival finds a couple, coming around the corner though, shut down.
But it's the time again. This round has already slipped too far. The utility is already here. Anya is ready. She'll pick up a 3K. Match and series point to Guild.
Yeah, again, we need the Anya 3K tracker at the end of this.
It's been like, so many.
It's just not real. Like, it just absolutely is not. In 16 rounds, our Breach player has found 20 kills.
Smurfette also has 20 kills, by the way. It's not like the rest of the team is slacking.
She has 19. It's
okay.
not as impressive.
I learned how to round.
That's a Jet player. You know, like, she puts herself in the position to take all those fights. Anya is just fighting through the chaos of these late rounds. It's not just picks here and there. It is literally just kill after kill after kill in those late moments for Anya.
No way! Joint has a timeout. He could be talking to his team right now, but instead, he is just balling out of control.
He's literally trying to turn himself into like a Twitter gif, you know? Like, that's what it is. Throws the glasses on. Hey, that was actually in the walkouts, right? It was glasses versus fedora. The glasses are on. That's a difference maker.
That is actually just like social media bait right there from this man. Oh, the disrespect from Guild. They know they're winning this series. They are so confident.
Yeah, I mean, it would require 8 in a row from Fennel. Guild, a date with Cloud9 White in less than 24 hours on the line here. Just 1 round win separating them from that.
You normally think of winning this match if staying alive is a reward, but you probably have your hardest match of the tournament. One that would feel so incredibly difficult. But Guild, they've already played an incredibly close game against a Shopify that has looked fantastic. They have dominated here against Fennel thus far. If they can close this out, who knows what this team can do, but it has to start right now.
And the crowd favorites Fennel will not go out without a fight. Festival, judge in hand, Blade Storm ready to go. And Suzu, who has been so good for this team, is the line of defense. Sees the head, gets the shot, 5v4.
That is big out of Suzu. Can they do more? Guild have the site. This is where Fennel have to expedite. Always so slow in the retakes, always waiting. They can't let that happen here.
They can't, and yet they need Festival to rotate on over. Koharu does not have an ultimate, but Kurumi does. Options here, but Smurfette is going for this maniac push into C-Link, but is shut down.
Anya is in the smoke as well, does not get anything. Claudia tries for more, but it's only Ness. 1 versus 4, Astra Star available, pull for first contact. And a tucked in position down long. This should not be possible. There shouldn't be a world. An aftershock in her face, no safe haven. She'll still find one, but it's nowhere near enough to win the round. A start for Fennel with their 5th.
That's how you got to get it kicked off. Suzu and Festival. We just have to ask for more. It's not even like they've been doing a bad job, but you have to come up with something immaculate to shut down this Guild team. An opening pick, one way to do it, absolutely, and huge ultimates held onto from Fennel.
Well, a lot of teams had a very, very dominant path to get here. It wasn't that for Fennel. They played a lot of close games regionally, and it was those 2 players stepping up and having the big performances that kept them in, that got them here. We need more now.
Run it back. It's got to be the idea. Looks like Suzu might want to push down C long. At the same time, sort of the Festival and Suzu holding hands with the duo on opposite ends of the map, right? Looking for those early peaks, looking for the early picks. When Guild go for the side executes, they look unstoppable. So beat them before they can get that setup to happen.
Early Fatal being committed here to push them off of this
One
B site.
scene.
Yeah.
Just Claudia spotted on that one, and they don't really have the information tools to know that it isn't a B hit coming in, right? That's the weakness of the chamber, so luckily for them, that hasn't been tempted from Guild just yet. Just breaking the tripwire, again, removing information from Fennel. B and Garage completely open in their minds.
Look at Festival, though. She is pushed all the way into this close corner outside short. She has practically no support in this setup.
I mean, you just stick the gun in the wall to hope they don't clear you perfectly coming around the corner.
Dash activated. Can she get one? Oh, no! She's whiffed it. She's flubbed it. Festival down. Guild might just have the ace site now.
absolute heartbreak for Festival. Fennel gonna go back, regroup, try to retake with 4. Koharu has the Rolling Thunder. That is their best bet to get something going here.
When do they activate it? Now is the call. Suzu gets hit by it. They can't retake. They have to stop. They have to stall. The ult's completely nullified now.
I mean, there's a Seize there as well. How do you get out? Len finds one, but there's no one to trade as she falls down from heaven. Lockdown has been destroyed.
It's something. Ness down Suzu on the swing, but Claudia defending the site. All 3 kills. A 2-0 for Guild. They've got their match against Cloud9.
Guild bounce back up against Fennel and do it in dominating fashion. Roxy did make Germany proud today. More chances to do that as we advance along in the tournament. And unfortunately, on the opposite side, that cannot be the same story for Fennel. Someone had to go home today. And even after a strong performance previously in the first round, they do fall just short.
Still, it's heartbreak for Fennel, but they've achieved something here at this tournament. They took home a map. They exceeded their own expectations. They put up a fight in that game, and though they weren't really able to compete strongly with Guild here, still, it really was a gift to get to see them out on the international stage. The fun, the vibes that they brought here in Berlin were excellent.
The vibes, absolute perfection, and maybe another 6 a.m. night, you know, to regroup, get the team going back after this one. Guild gonna take their victory lap here. And man, oh man, I've got to say on this final map, Anya, what a performance out of her. That was
the first
wild.
map too. It's not like she started slow. Consistent performance across the series.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because, again, I feel like Guild is one of those teams where you don't necessarily have one player always coming out and popping off. But respect to both teams here, wrapping things up on a very long day of Valorant, and it is less than 24 hours away as the clock nearly strikes midnight that Guild will have to play again.
And there it is, in front of their hometown crowd. Guild get a win in the lower bracket. A big accomplishment for them, but I'm sure all that is on their minds right now is tomorrow's match against Cloud9.
Yeah, I mean, the round 18 ends, and it's like, oh, that reality is setting in here. Okay. But hey, with how they were playing today, the confidence 100% there. I just think of the madness of some of the peaks that Claudia had, giggling through it the whole way along. Just really, really good Valorant out of Guild throughout today.
Yeah, I think you look at this, you're like, it's a stomp. Fennel wasn't shooting back. This was an easy game for them. But if you just look at it like that, you miss so many of the moments that we saw from this team that were really impressive. The coordination on the utility, these compositions they're pulling out with the Killjoy, their style of Valorant is unique and it really works.
It'll be a really interesting matchup to see that go down. That's a heartbreaker in that final round. Festival going to be thinking about not getting that kill at the end of the day, but it was Guild's day through and through. The stronger team and moving right along.
Yeah, absolutely. Really earning that spot as the EMEA 1 seed as they do continue in that lower bracket. Fennel, really unfortunate to see them coming home, but what I'm wondering is, who's the MVP of this series? We got the in-zone MVP coming up right over there. Anya, Roxy, Smurfette. I feel like it's gotta be Anya.
Yeah, that would be my vote personally, but I also, I hate giving an opinion on this because I don't want to swing the vote.
Oh, I do. You know? I'm here to be biased. Vote Anya.
Well then.
We're going to rig the polls. We'll see if you guys agree with us.
I'm going to go vote.
Okay, there you go. Well, as Chrissy gets influenced and gets voting, he actually is voting right now.
I'm
I don't
scanning
know if that's
the
allowed.
QR code.
Is he allowed to do that?
I'm there. I'm there on twitter.com/ValorantEsports.
Oh.
There it is, and I'll lock in Anya for you.
She's got 35% of the vote.
Oh,
She's
it's a close race. No, 1% behind Roxy.
Okay, well, as he continues perusing Twitter, we're going to send this one to a break before GV in the desk. Close out the day.
You're gone.
Well, there you have it. It's not going to get more wholesome than that, people. Might as well just pack it all up.
Listen, the fact that they know that this is an elimination match, the fact that they know that everything is on the line for both of them, the fact that they say hello to each other in such a respectful and loving way definitely sums up what Game Changers means to them.
Electing to take those very long-range fights sets them up very nicely. And Gladio with a back-to-back 3K.
There's two players trying to fight from heart. It's successful, but they don't expect Gladia. Spotted on the haunt, it's sprayed through the wall, and Fennel have their second. But look at Roxy, she's contacted so close. Len not ready for her. Another kill on the go.
What?
Third! What the hell is Roxy doing? 13-3, a dominant map #1.
Guild giving them the business on that one.
She's a Marshall, by the way. Oh, it's gonna work. Okay, all good, no worries. Surely you do not expect Festival.
That is dance-inducing behavior.
Two players left alive as Guild real close out their half 8-4.
Yes!
Festival finds a couple coming around the corner, they're shut down.
But it's time again. This round has already slipped too far. The utility is already... Go! A 2-0 for Guild. They've got their match against Cloud9.
Guild bounce back up against Fennel and do it in dominating fashion.
Safe to say, Guild looked clean in that 2-0 victory against Fennel, sending them home. Those were your Prime Gaming post-match highlights. Here, of course, Golden Boy alongside with Kakuka and Sapphire's breakdown what we saw in that last match there. And, you know, I think out of the gate, Sapphire, I'll start with you, right? I think that from the beginning, it was very clear, like, Fennel tried to take some risks with those map vetoes. I think they thought maybe they were a bit safer in Haven, but Guild were prepped, ready to go. This is looking like an EMEA #1 seed.
This is what we wanted to see from them all along. It was a little slow start to this tournament, but the #1 seed came out firing today. All their stars had incredible moments.
Listen, I have to say, if someone knows anything about what a loser bracket, what a lower bracket run needs to be, definitely is Guildex. They've been so many times in this same situation, and it wouldn't be less here in the international stage.
Well, it also helps, too, when you have your Breach just fragging out the way that Anya was there in that game. And even just look at the output there, right? 12 first kills they were able to get, right? Like, just so many well-executed plays, Kukuka, by Guild, time and time again. It was just beautiful to watch. But the thing is, though, is unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to another team in this tournament. I think that, the darlings of this event, for sure, it was Fennel. Everyone loved them. They were just so wholesome and kind, and it's sad to see them go.
I think, honestly, the only thing I dislike about this event is the fact that it only lasts 6 days. So by day 3, we're already saying goodbye to teams. I think that Fennel definitely came as an unknown, came as a dark horse, maybe the underdogs because of the least experienced team that we had. But you know, they definitely found their spot in our hearts.
Oh yeah, if you look at the social clips, anytime there's something out there, Fennel,
so wholesome.
look at the replies. Like every single Valorant personality is just saying, I adore them. They're so
You know what?
badass.
One last
What a
time.
great
One last
person."
time.
Let's do it one last time, everyone.
Just
One last time.
last time.
One last time for the homies. Pour it for them. Okay, we say goodbye. We say goodbye. But before the break, though, we actually asked you guys to vote for the end zone player of the match, and I am
I
happy
hope
to
it's
report the news is in. And Roxy,
Okay, I get it.
Not gonna
Roxy has a
front.
huge following. She's such a personality.
I'm going to say it. Anya was wrong. Anya was wrong.
Yeah, I think so. I think that she definitely deserves it. Not only because
Everyone
of the
played
flashy,
great.
yeah. Not only because of the flashy plays that we saw from her time to time, but we need to acknowledge the fact that she's playing from the breach. That, as you said, Sapphire, sometimes is about playing for the rest of the team. Sometimes is about playing for yourself. Anya can do all of it.
Exactly. She was a team player today. Maybe it doesn't always show in the numbers, but it shows in what the rest of her team were able to do.
Yeah, and all of them were very deserving of that MVP as well there. But let's actually go into our high-speed moment here. We have a Verizon, high-speed moment of the match. And this one actually came from our
Anya.
dear friend Anya, who, again, just a beautiful 4K here to actually, yeah, it was a 4K to close things out. But, yeah, I mean, Anya played just unbelievable this whole series, Kukuka.
I am not surprised. We had so many moments like that. I think that our casters at some point referred to her, how many multi-kills, how many 3Ks is Anya going to get? It kept happening over and over, and this was a very important round. We talked about how important it is for Guild to actually close this map. So, you know, when the score is starting to get tighter and players start to get tired as well, you need players like this to close everything up and just go home. It's already like, what, midnight?
Yes, it is. It is midnight. And speaking of moving the show forward, though, shout out to the multi-kill machine, Anya. But let's now go ahead and shift focus and hear from the winners of the match, because we have the veteran, the one and only, Claudia, standing by with Win Silly in our Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you so much, GB. I know it's midnight. It's past our bedtime, but we're going to have to take some time to talk to Claudia from Guild. Claudia, congratulations on the victory. You're playing against Fennel, right? They won a lot of hearts throughout the week. It must be tough to be the team that eliminates them, because I saw that you had some really fun walkouts with the team. But what are the positive things that you've learned from the matchup that you could talk about from Fennel?
I think Fennel is an upcoming team. I think they have incredible aim. They showed it on the first round of Pearl. I was like, oh geez, okay, this is a game where 100% they need to be respected. We didn't go in doubting them or anything like that. They're great players, and I think they have a lot of potential. And of course, like, their charisma is unreal. I think they're like definitely the MVPs of the tournament in terms of look, style, everything. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think from that pistol round was when it was like, oh crap, there's some firepower in here.
Definitely.
But let's talk about those map vetoes. Tell me through the process of how you went in through the veto process to maybe turn it into your favor to have such a decisive victory of a 2-0 against them.
Yeah, so to be honest, we going into the map veto, we play 6 of the 7 maps. So we do not play Breeze. We always permaban it. I guess that's news for our upcoming opponents. We are Breeze haters. We'll never play it. But focusing on that, what we did was we banned, our first ban was Breeze. They banned Fracture against us. Fracture is a very good map. And then they actually picked Pearl against us. So I don't know. I don't think we did that bad on Pearl yesterday. It was like, you know, the first match of the day. There's a lot of land nerves, definitely. And we kind of, after we lost that, we discussed like what the issues were. And going into this match, it was a complete 180. So I felt very confident on Pearl. I think we've been putting a lot of time between the last game changers and going into this event. So overall, I'm very like, so that was their pick, and then we picked Haven. Haven's a comfort pick for us.
Awesome. And in other news, I don't know if people know, but you come into this tournament for the Game Changers Championships as a #1 seed in EMEA. So I'm a noob, right? Let's pretend I'm a noob. You're playing against Cloud9, the #1 seed from North America, and this is a lower bracket, so the loser unfortunately goes home. So hype up this game for me. Tell me what to expect.
I think our match versus C9 is going to be really good. I think the results that we showed against Shopify was not 100% our best showing. I think that was us at our worst. Not to disrespect Shopify, they're a great team. They have great momentum. They have great players. But overall, I feel like we could 100% be better than that. And I mean, like, G2 is a great team. We compete against them a lot in the tournament. So I feel like we are on that level. It's just that it's up to us in game to not make these mistakes, to calm down the communication and be initiative.
All right, awesome. Well, before I just toss it back to the desk, I know we're peering over this camera, and you have an ex-teammate from a couple of years ago being Sapphire there. Do you have any words you'd like to tell her?
You look great, Heather.
And with that, Claudia, congratulations. Good luck tomorrow versus Cloud9. And we're going to pass it back to my ray of sunshine, GB.
Aw, I'll take that. I like to think of myself as a ray of sunshine. Depends on the day, though. Of course, though, with 2 teams eliminated today, let's go ahead and take a look at where we are in the bracket, because we have 3 more matches for you lovely people tomorrow with, by the way, an earlier start of, and I asked them to put this in the prompter, 1 p.m. CET. Don't miss me with that 24-hour clock there. We're going to be kicking things off with some pretty awesome matches. I mean, look at this, guys. Shopify Rebellion X10 Sapphire. Cloud9 White versus Guild X. And G2 Gozen versus Team Liquid Sapphire. These matches are going to be bonkers.
Every single series tomorrow is going to be insane. Like, who would have thought Cloud9 White and Guild X would be facing off in the lower bracket? Not even the lower semi. Like, this is earlier than that.
Yes.
I think the production was just insanely smart. They were like, this is all going to be bangers. 100% we're going to go to the 3rd map in each series. So let's start very early so we don't have to miss our bedtime again. So I'm very happy. Every single team that's still standing in the tournament is playing tomorrow, and still we're saying goodbye to 2 of them.
Yeah, it's, man, it's going to be wild stuff.
Only 4 remaining after tomorrow.
Again, only 4 remain, but that is the way the cookie crumbles. Unfortunately, we're going to be treated to some stupendous matchups there. I would ask you guys to pick one, but I think that's impossible.
I pick EMEA.
Oh, of course you do. Of course you do.
Well, then,
I mean, who went home?
I get 2 NA matches tomorrow.
Hey, look at that.
Hopefully 2 wins.
Well, actually, we get 2 EMEA matches. It doesn't matter. The point is, folks, it's going to be an incredible day of Valorant, and we hope you join us. Once again, don't forget, we're going to be starting at 1 p.m. CET, so we're going to be starting a little bit earlier tomorrow. So make sure you set your alarms so that you join us for all the matches. It's going to be awesome. We thank you so much for tuning in. A big shout out to our entire production team who's been putting in so many hours across the board here to make this show happen. And most importantly, we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more Valorant Game Changers Champions right here from Berlin. We'll see you then.
The journey for both of these teams so far has not been easy, but what a statement it would make to take a dub here, because there is a ticket straight to the upper finals on the line.
He's actually behind him, Could I actually get Sonder down by 5%?
Can you turn Sonder down like 10%?
Dude, she's not gonna do that.
Yes, she is.
No more can come Benita. She can do something more to kill Spike on the floor. 20 seconds. And Benita just does it all.
Let's go!
Showstopper. Oh, that could be 2. Sunder for all 3. Sands is her domain.
Wait, guys, let me knife him.
Finds her. And 2 falls to Yarda. But Bastarda wins the round. All to delay the push through, but Showstopper is out. Sunder. Shopify Rebellion take map 1, 13-10.
Oh no, in a lot of trouble here with the suck there, blocking off 3-4 players, and it all comes down to this.
1 versus 3, too big. Team Liquid live, overtime achieved.
That was insane.
I've never seen that before. Should be a free kill. Flash ready. Her teammates falling all around her.
DRN sends us to Icebox. Absolutely, no. They are getting pumped. They're getting excited. That is going to be a mind gaming flawless.
All about to fall, and DRN ready on the swing.
The patience from Team Liquid just being, and Bastarda.
A miracle on map 2, a dominant map 3. Team Liquid in the top 3.
Both of these teams still have so much they need to prove here, and the scary thing is this might be the last chance for them to do it.
This is very surprising, getting this far ahead, and the dash over the top gets away. This is disastrous for X10, not looking so good now. Support on the way, great defense coming out from Crew, defending that spike plant. Gonna keep a strong lead towards the half. 3 quick kills back to back, and B is looking inaccessible, but it will be Crew with map 1. They know they're still there, the flash a little late, but perfect timing for Beige to swing. And Roby, this is a shutdown and a shutout. And Polly with a huge 3 kills this time. Polly, the absolute teammate, sent from above. This is just a different looking X10, Mike.
It's night and day.
This is the elimination map. Nothing happens to me. Look, we're throwing peace signs still. We're still having fun.
Crew trying to make their entrance, trying to be a problem, be that nuisance they can be, but the numbers are still good for X10. Great work from Muffin, and now the two players can swing from the side. A lovely post plot, but Based still doing everything she can. Ult's ready to go. Sends it for Polly. Gets the kick. What? Spot 1, but doesn't go straight for that. Keeps cool, keeps composed, keeps 3. Make it 4. Now Muffin, what are you gonna do with it? What? Oh my God, Muffin! X10, stay alive.
Fantastic performance here from X10.
Well, there you have it. It's not going to get more wholesome than that, people. Might as well just pack it all up.
Listen, the fact that they know that this is an elimination match, the fact that they know that everything is on the line for both of them, the fact that they say hello to each other in such a respectful and loving way definitely sums up what Game Changers means to them.
Electing to take those very long-range fights sets them up very nicely, and Claudia with a back-to-back 3K.
There's 2 players trying to fight from Art. It's successful, but they don't expect Claudia. Spotted on the haunt and sprayed through the wall, and Fen will have their second. But look at Roxy, she's contacted so close. Len not ready for her. Another kill on the go.
What?
Dude, what the hell is Roxy doing? 13-3, a dominant map number 1.
Guild giving them the business on that one.
She has a Marshall, by the way. Oh, it's gonna work. Okay, all good, no worries. Surely you do not expect Festival.
That is dance-inducing behavior.
2 players left alive, and Guild will close out their half 8-4.
This Festival finds a couple coming around the corner to shut down.
But it's time again. This round has already slipped too far. The utility is already a 2-0 for Guild. They've got their match against Cloud9.
Guild bounce back up against Fennel and do it in dominating fashion.
Chicks look sunset pink upon my end, holding you on my